Hey everybody, Craig Howie here of Howie Guitars, and I wanted to address a question that I've been getting, and that's how do I stain my guitars? How do I put the color on my guitars and do bursts and whatnot with my guitars? So what I thought I'd do, most of my guitars, about 90% of them have a flamed maple or a quilted maple top. So I have a piece of scrap flamed maple here, and I thought I'd just show you how I do it on this piece of scrap as an example. So here we go. So as an example, what I thought I'd do is kind of an aqua blue to darker blue burst on this piece. I'll show you how to do that from start to finish. But first of all, let's talk about materials you need. Personally, I like to just use cotton cloth to put the stain on. So I have a lot of cotton cloth here. For stain, I really like the Color Tone concentrated liquid stain because it mixes really well with denatured alcohol, which I like to use because it dries so fast. You can get this online anywhere. And then I have just some plain water here, and then I have a couple of blue stains mixed. This is a really light mixture of the coral reef blue, kind of aqua blue, and this is a much more concentrated mixture of the coral reef blue with some extra dark blue in it. And then I have some black stain I use a lot of black stain, so it's just pre-mixed. I'm not going to go into ratios on how to mix the stain because that's really a personal preference, so you'll just experiment, make it a fun science experiment to find the right ratios for you. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Okay, step one is just to open up the grain of the wood. So what we're gonna do is just use water for that. And we're just gonna wipe it down with some water. Gets the grain to open up. That way it will accept the stain much better. Okay, so then from there I'm gonna go straight into what I'm gonna start. What I like to do is start by staining the whole thing completely black, relatively strong black. I'll show you why here in a second. You just move pretty quickly. You just put it on rapidly to try to avoid any smudges. Still not quite as dark as I want it. I'm gonna do one more round. Not bad, not bad. So what's cool is you can already see the ripples coming out in the flamed maple. That's why I love using this wood so much. It's the way that the tree grows, it produces these waves that go counter to the grain. And it's just so beautiful. Okay, so for step two, what I'm gonna try to do is actually pull some of this stain back out now. I stained it completely black. Now I'm gonna try to pull that stain back out to allow the ripples to show more. So one way you can do it is to go back with water, and water will actually wash out some of the black a little bit, and you can get it that way. It's pretty difficult to do it that way with a guitar because the water will cause the stain to bleed. And you can see where it will go over the edges. If you're doing natural bindings, it's pretty hard to keep it clean. So instead, another way to pull that stain back out is to sand it. You can do it by hand, obviously, but with this flat piece, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a power sander, and I'm using 320. So I'm gonna sand this out. Okay, step two is done. You can see I've pulled most of the black out, but left some there to accentuate the ripples. What's going on there is that the different ripples have different hardnesses, and so the sander takes it out of some of the ripples and not the others. So it allows it to accentuate the ripples really well there. So the next step is I'm gonna put the blue stain on, the light blue stain. I'm gonna stain the entire piece. This will hopefully be a pretty light stain. Hopefully I mixed it well. Yeah, it'll be kind of a sky blue, a little bit of aqua. Try to do a little bit more here. And even the blue is going to bring out some more of the ripples. So beautiful. One more round. Then I'm going to hang on to this stain rag because I'm going to use it again here for the burst. Okay, step 3 is done. I've got the light blue on. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to put the burst on. This is where a lot of the eyeballing and handwork comes in. I've got the darker blue here. With a guitar, you have to be super careful to try to keep this even. So just going to hit the outsides to simulate this. The darker blue. Go ahead and get a lot there. Nice round. So there we go, we got that on. Okay, now the last step is all about mixing it and getting it to look more of like a fade. So I'm gonna go back to that light blue that I used. I'm gonna go back over the whole thing and just put it all together here. You really hit the line where the two can come together with the light blue stain. It starts to fade it in. Sometimes you have to sand it back out a little bit too to get it to fade in a little bit better. This one's fading pretty well. It helps when you have similar stains going at the same time. A drastic color shift is really difficult to get the blend right. And sometimes I'll go back over it with water too to get it to blend a little bit better. But there we go. We got a pretty good dark to light blue stain going there. I'd probably blend it a couple more times and then put the clear coat on from there. Okay, so there you go. We got a light aqua blue to a dark blue burst example going for you here. Hopefully that helped you understand how I do some of my staining. You could do several layers of burst, maybe put some black around the outside at this point, but this was just a quick example. If you have any questions about staining techniques or the guitars I build or Howie guitars in general, anything like that, please get a hold of me at the address below there. And please subscribe if you haven't. It really helps me out with my page. Thanks a lot for watching.